Hi, Ben. Daddy here with a new story for you today. It's a Spider-Man story called Spider-Man Sand Trap. I hope you enjoy it. The bank alarm wailed loudly as people screamed in fear. Peter Parker was on his way to the nearby park to take some outdoor spring pictures for the Daily Bugle when he heard the alarm and ran toward the bank. Sounds like someone decided to make an unauthorized withdrawal, he thought. Arriving in front of the bank, he saw a trail of sand disappearing into the entrance and knew exactly who was behind the robbery. Sandman. Peter looked inside to see the bank vault open and empty. Looking for a place to change into Spider-Man, Peter spotted the bank manager angrily shaking his head. "Are you with the newspaper?" the bank manager said, pointing at Peter's camera. "You're too late. He's already gone. You could still take some pictures for the paper, I guess," he said, frustrated. "Yeah," Peter sighed, disappointed. "I guess." Peter was angry with himself for not preventing the robbery. I could have stopped him if I didn't have to do that story for the Bugle, he muttered under his breath. Frustrated, Peter continued on his way to the park. He snapped some pictures of ducks in the pond, then got one of a tree in full bloom. As he approached the baseball field, he heard yelling. Peter saw a bunch of kids surrounding a smaller boy. "See, Dorkface, that's how you catch a baseball," said one kid. "My own grandma could catch better than you," said another. Peter shook his head. That's no way to talk to someone, he thought. Maybe it was time to remind those kids about the importance of playing nice. "Everything all right here?" he asked as he approached them. "I wish," replied the tallest, who seemed to be the leader of the pack. "Nervous Neddy over here can't catch a ball to save his life." Peter knelt down and said, "Ned, is it? I know how you feel. I wasn't that great at catching when I was your age." He turned to the taller boy. "What's your name?" "Barry," he said, turning his cap around. "I'm the best at baseball." "Well, Barry, my name's Peter, and I work for the Daily Bugle. I'd love to do a story on the young baseball players we have right here in the park. How about we help Ned become a better catcher, instead of making fun of him?" Barry's eyes glazed over as he pictured himself in the newspaper. "You think I can make the front page? I'm game, but good luck with Butterfingers over here." Peter got his camera ready as the boys took their positions on the field. Ned went to first base, while Barry covered second. "Okay," Peter yelled. "Let's see what you got." The pitcher threw a fastball, and the batter swung hard, hitting the ball between first and second base. Diving full stretch to his left, Barry scooped the ball off the ground and rolled to his feet to throw to first. Ned was only a few feet away at first base. All Barry had to do was lob the ball over to him, and the batter would be out. Instead, he reared back his arm and rocketed the ball at Ned, who ducked out of the way just in time to avoid getting hit in the face. The ball went rolling away, and the batter safely rounded first and headed to second. "Great job, Wimpy," Barry yelled at Ned, who was still on the ground. "You let him get to second base." "Wait a minute. That's not fair," Peter called out. "You threw that too hard for him to catch." Barry laughed. "He would have dropped it even if I had handed it to him." Just then, out of the corner of his eye, Peter saw the sand on the pitcher's mound moving. That's strange, he thought. A second later, it got even stranger. The pitcher's mound started rising, with a face taking shape. It was Sandman. "Blasted kids, you're stomping all over my getaway hideout," the villain yelled. "Run!" Barry yelled at the top of his lungs and disappeared behind a tree. Most of the other boys followed. But Ned stood motionless, too scared to move. Peter knew he had to do something, but there was no time to change into Spider-Man, Spider-Man. So he had to distract Sandman somehow. "Hey, you, Sandy guy, over here," Peter cried as he clicked away on his camera. "Oh, good, the media." Sandman loved being the center of attention. "I always wanted to be the most famous supervillain in the world." It was working. Peter just had to figure out what to do next. He saw a fountain in the park and quickly came up with a plan. "Barry!" Peter cried. "Throw the baseball at the bag of money." Barry gripped the ball. I can't get the right angle." "Throw it to Ned," Peter yelled. Ned heard his name and opened his mitt, but hunched behind it, afraid Barry might throw the ball at his face again. Peter saw Barry adopt a pitching stance. "Remember, throw it so he can catch it." Barry nodded, then threw the ball directly at Ned's waiting mitt. Ned caught it. "Okay, Ned," Peter called. "Throw it at the bag of money. Now!" Ned took aim and threw the ball with all his might. He hit Sandman right in the wrist, and the thief dropped the bag. That was Peter's cue. With everyone focused on Sandman, Peter quickly shot a strand of webbing at the fountain and then pulled back sharply. The fountain fell right off its base and shot a spray of water into the air, dousing Sandman. "No!" Sandman cried, turning into a muddy puddle. "Wow, dude, that was a cool double play." Barry went over and gave Ned a high five. "I didn't know you had it in you." "I didn't either," said Ned, looking up and smiling at Peter. "Thanks." "We should all be thanking you, Ned," said Peter. "Now, how about we get that front page picture?" "You bet." The end. I hope you liked it, Ben. Have a good day and sweet dreams. Te amo, amigo.